Welcome back. We are discussing specific topics under environmental engineering. So in this video, we'll discuss about waterborne diseases. Waterborne diseases are mainly caused due to contaminated water, microbially contaminated water, bacterial contamination. When you take that water, they cause some diseases. They're called as waterborne diseases. In this video, we look at the specific type of waterborne diseases, what are the root causes, and then the different options to prevent the waterborne diseases. So waterborne diseases are caused due to contamination of water with microorganisms and viruses. They are caused by pathogenic and pathogenic microorganisms. Pathogenic microorganisms means they are harmful bacteria that are transmitted in the water. These diseases can be spread while bathing, washing, drinking water, where you get exposed to that contaminated water, or by eating food exposed to contaminated water. So if you look at the common diseases, which you are calling as waterborne diseases, typhoid fever caused by Salmonella typhi bacteria. So this is caused due to the surface sources contaminated by human discharges, human fecal discharges, right? Cholera, Vibrio cholera bacteria, ingestion of water contaminated by human feces. Bacillary dysentery, Shiga bacillus bacteria, ingestion of food contaminated by flies. So the flies means here the problem is they're calling as moving bodies, right? So there is a contaminated water. The flies will go on top of that water to pick up something. So they get contact with that particular contaminated water. They come and transfer that viruses onto the food like that. So these flies, they're called as vector-borne problems. So they are now causing the problems to the waterborne diseases. Infectious hepatitis or infectious jaundice caused due to hepatitis virus, infection from a virus or parasites. Poliomyelitis. Poliovirus is the infecting bacteria. This is caused due to poor sanitation and hygiene. Amoebic dysentery, Entamoeba histolytic germ. Disease from the bowel discharges infected by the virus. And again, this is another disease which is caused due to the movement of flies from the contaminated material. So what we understand from this particular slide is these waterborne diseases are caused due to exposure to contaminated water, or at the same time exposure due to the contaminated material, and where the flies which transmit the disease to a particular source. So these germs responsible for the disease enter the human body through the food or water. This is what we are discussing, that has been contaminated through several carriers. The flies are one sort of a carrier, the moving carriers. Lack of clean water supply, sanitation, and hygiene are major causes for the spread of waterborne diseases in a community. In villages and rural areas, proper sanitation facilities, underground drainage, or sewer system rarely exist. What we see when you go in a rural area, villages here, there is no proper drainage system in that village. And all the drainage water coming out from the houses, they are spread out on the roads. So there's going to be mosquito breeding, fly movement on that. So the flies will go on top of that, and then they carry some viruses from the particular contaminated water body. And then they sit on some food material, open food material, and then automatically that virus will get transmitted through the food. So this is where the problem comes in a waterborne diseases. The contaminated water, whatever it is, if there is a water source nearby, some hand pump nearby, so this water will now goes into that particular water body, and which seeps through that water bodies and subsequently will also contaminate that particular water source. Shallow well water, suppose the open well is there is a leak is there in the compound wall, a surrounding wall, you are making it a protection wall of that particular open well. So these drainage water will directly move through that and then automatically contaminate the drinking water of the open well. Shallow well waters are likely contaminated due to leakage of septic tanks and soak pits. The septic tanks and soak pits, they carry human discharges. They are going to collect it and then treat it, and the liquid coming out of septic tanks is likely to move through the subsoil. And if there is a possibility where there is open wells, shallow wells, then they may contaminate that particular shallow well also. And subsequently, you are going to have the high risk of waterborne disease problem. Sewer lines may leak through faulty joints and may contaminate freshwater source. Close proximity of water supply and sewer lines, which are having leaky joints. Usually, what will happen is the water pipes, which are at higher elevation compared to ground level, and sewer pipes will be below that water pipes. And usually, when there is a possibility that you cannot go deeper into that, there is a possible leakage of the sewer pipe water into the water pipe water through leaky joints. That can be a cause. Vectors such as flies flying over contaminated water or food may also cause these diseases in this case. Water drawn into waterworks plant may get contaminated on its way or its source and is left unnoticed. This is a rare occasion, but still there is a slight possibility. So what you understand from all this information is the lack of clean water supply, sanitation, and hygiene. They are the main thing. If the surrounding area is hygiene, there is no water stagnation, no fly movement, then automatically there's no problem. The human discharges are coming out from the houses, the drainage pipes, the toilet waters and all. If it is properly drained through a drainage pipe, then there's no problem. But if it is spread out on the roads, then automatically there is a high possibility of contamination. That contamination can lead to a waterborne diseases. So now the thing is how to prevent or control the waterborne disease. So first of all, the thing is we should have a proper sanitation. To make that sanitation properly, we should clean our hands with soap. So by washing the hands with soap regularly, the bacteria will get removed from the body. Ensure adequate disinfection of water supplies to the community. So no such type of disinfection is still remaining in the water pipes. Usually, we used to put some amount of chlorination in the treatment system and leave some amount of residual chlorine so that if there is any infection caused, any bacterial entry into that water pipes before it is reached to the consumer, this residual chlorine will take care of. So we should see that no such type of bacterial contamination is there at the treatment plant and the complete removal is done. And even when the water is reached to the community supply, so you should ensure that there is no bacteria in that and properly is disinfected. Leaking joints in water pipelines should be closed to prevent entry of contaminated water in the pipes. So this maintenance is a major issue. Leaking water, and there is a leak in the water pipes and suddenly some drainage water moving nearby, and then due to gravity that may enter through the leaks into the water pipe, that may create the waterborne diseases. Advise use of boiled water to destroy bacteria and virus. So this is one of the household treatment practices. At high temperatures, bacteria cannot survive. That's why they always doctors advise to use the boiled water. And consume hot and fresh foods at high temperatures. The viruses cannot survive. Cold temperatures only they are going to survive. At the same time, the fly movement should not be there. So always you should use the food with the proper sealings, the properly closed containers. Control the fly nuisance problem in the community. If there is a water logging in the nearby area, then automatically there will be fly nuisance. So always try to avoid the water logging, and then the hygiene will be improved. Then this type of problems will never occur. Keep adequate medicines at disposal and alert the PHC or medical centers to prepare accordingly. So still some problem has come. Suddenly some incidents have come. Then automatically the only situation is to control the problem through medication. So you should have some medication at your own disposal. At the same time, when some situation is there, a medical emergency is there, so local village officers must ensure that the PHC or medical center should uh, have adequate medical facilities, medical equipment, tablets, and other things, so that all the public is properly treated in time to avoid the risk of health of the public. Right. So this is all about the prevention and control of waterborne diseases. These diseases are caused due to contaminated food and water. Right. Thank you.